Well, thanks for hopping on with me today, Drew. My name's Breeze. This is the MMA Breeze show. So I value your time. We'll just jump right in. How's the weight cut going?
It's going.
Yeah.
It's the Sunday before weight cut, so it's still on me. But
Yeah.
yeah, just following the plan. Man, I've been working with Feel Your Fight Camp here in Denver. Her name's Laylee, and
Hmm.
since hiring her onto my fight camps, my weight cuts have been incredible. So, man, I
Yeah.
just look forward to another smooth one this week.
Yeah, absolutely. How many fight camps have you done with her?
It should be well. I did three fight camps in 2020. Unfortunately, there was only two fights.
Right.
But yeah, I've done three camps with her, and man, it's just one of those things. Like I just don't feel like I'm suffering.
Coming off of a three-fight win streak, all finishes, two performance of the nights. I know after your last fight, you called for a striker. You wanted another show to put on for everybody. Turns out you got the opposite of that. You're fighting Islam Makhachev. So how did that happen? And why did that draw your interest over a striker?
You know, uh, I wish I had a lot of say in the matter. Man, I like having something to say when people ask me who do I want to fight, but I don't think I have too much control. I think the UFC has an idea of where they want to put me. But man, I was thinking of Diego for all of 2020, and I
Hmm.
was preparing for a grappler.
Yeah.
And that fight didn't work out. And then on my vacation, I got offered the Islam fight, and Islam's one of those guys that I knew I was going to fight eventually. We
Mhm.
were scheduled to fight each other in like 2017, and
Yeah.
man, I love the matchup. Not because it's an easy matchup for me, but because it's a renowned, a prestigious matchup. I think
Mhm.
he's super talented, and yeah, and I just look forward to having fantastic fights. And
Mhm.
so that's what this fight means to me. It's just another extremely fantastic fight I can just add to my resume.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is by far the most followed opponent that you've faced. Am I correct on that note? I mean, he's got over 2 million followers. Are you looking to steal some fire here and go out with a little blaze?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to adopt some of those followers to the Instagram, and then, man, I'm also looking forward to testing that hype. I really want to know how actually good he is, and so, man,
Yeah.
just the challenge excites me so much.
And I've heard in other interviews with you talking on the upcoming fight, you like you said, you've tried to fight Diego, and for whatever reason, the stars weren't aligning. If you do get another finish, quick work on Islam, and you're going on, and they ask you who you want next, are you going backwards to fight Diego? Because I'd have to imagine that would catapult you towards a top 10 fight, especially beating Islam in the way that you've been finishing the last few guys.
I mean, in all honesty, I've been looking at the top 10, and my goal is to fight the most fantastic fighters. And there's a guy that just entered the top 10 RDA, who's a former world champion. So, I beat Islam. I want RDA this summer. And on
Okay.
fighting only two times in 1 year is just not good enough for me. I want to fight often. So, I want to be a main event this summer. RDA looks like he's available. I would love that fight. Just two
Yeah.
southpaws, big southpaws just swinging leather at each other, man, I think it makes for a great main event.
Yeah, I think that would be a heck of a matchup as well. Speaking of, top caliber fighters, we know out in Colorado, you definitely get your fair share of work from those guys. You've got Justin and Usman running through your camp. How much have you worked with those guys in preparation to this fight?
I mean, I work with Justin Gaethje as much as possible. He's a really good teammate. We bounce a lot of skills off each other. Usman, I did get to spar a couple times, but man, I think with all our matchups, with Usman fighting or preparing for Burns, I wasn't the matchup or the sparring partner that he needed. So,
Mhm.
we were kind of having fun with each other, but we were kind of like focusing on other teammates and stuff like that. But Team Elevation is just surrounded by talent. The renowned talent of Justin Gaethje and Usman, but also talent in the coaching, and then the guys are like up and comers that are super talented too. So,
Mhm.
man, I am not limited in people trying to beat me up and doing a
Yeah.
good job of it too.
I like it. I like it. So I mean, you're about to fight a very tough contender in Islam Makhachev. You train with Justin Gaethje. Where do you feel you fall in the top five? You have experience going with some of the best in the world, some guys that have had title shots, and even Usman, who has the title right now. Do you feel at this point, it seems like you're peaking. You're 32. You got three finishes. Your performance of the night streak. Do you think that this is coming into your own and that this is your time to kind of go for that title run?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel, at the age of 32, I feel better than I ever did ever in my 20s.
Mhm.
And I feel like I'm really coming into, you know, like showcasing, what I have physically and mentally and technically. And so, man, it definitely is my time to shine. And man, I don't really focus too much on the whole top 10, top five title run. I'm focusing on fantastic fights because, to be honest, in the lightweight division, the top 15, all those guys can be like a top five at any time,
Right.
like there's so much talent. And so I don't really focus on the number. I focus on the opponent and the quality of fights. And so with my fight March 6th against Islam, man, that could have been a number one contender spot, a number one
Mhm.
contender fight. But yeah, so I'm here to make fantastic fights, get fantastic wins, and entertain the crowd, no matter where we fall in the card.
Awesome. Right on, right on. And I was watching Javier Mendez speak a little bit about the matchup between you and Islam, and he was talking about, they would preferred getting a victory over RDA because it would have catapulted him higher into that top 10. But do you think they're overlooking you at all? Do you think that they're taking this matchup seriously, or do you? Because he said after this, he thinks Islam will have one more fight, and then that'll be his coming out party. Do you think that they're overlooking you at all?
Um, I think when you look at me on paper, I have some submission losses, and I've struggled with the grapplers, and so very possibly this could be a very confident Islam thing. He's going to take me to the ground and submit me, and moving on to the next. And I hope to God he thinks that because definitely a more evolved fighter since. I
Mhm.
definitely learned a ton from my losses, and so if you look at my losses, you're already one step behind. So I do think I don't know if he's overlooking me, but I do know that Islam's going to be very confident in this fight, and so it's my job to kind of shove that confidence down his throat.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I know basically Islam and you, like you said, you had tried to book a fight back in the day. Now you've taken some more experience with the submission loss, and that you had a couple fights back. But do you think that with all the preparation with Diego and working on your ground game, do you think that you're going to have some surprises? Maybe even, he's got 7 submission wins, you got 6. Do you think that the gap between you guys on the ground is as big as the general public does?
Um, So if it was a grappling match, I think he could possibly be better at jujitsu than I am. But this is MMA, and what I focus on isn't my ability to play jujitsu; it's my ability to blend my jujitsu with the rest of my game. And so
Absolutely.
to say that like I'm a brown belt in jujitsu, like, but this isn't like a gi or no gi like jujitsu match. This is MMA, and so what I have learned is how to implement jujitsu and wrestling with my striking and just blend everything. So I'm gonna be better at filling in the holes in the game than Islam should be.
Well, that's awesome. So I know, speaking of, evolving, and you said after your fight with Alexander, that you were working a lot with Oscar on your footwork and being able to hit a moving target. So how much have you worked with Oscar in leading up to fighting Islam? Has he been in your corner? Is he going to corner you for this upcoming fight?
Oh, of course. My main guys are Oscar Martinez, Dave Zabriskie, and Elliot Marshall. And man, this camp was tremendous as far as communication. All three of my coaches have been on it, just watching everything that I'm doing, blending things together. And no, I think the biggest thing of this camp is my uh, technique isn't separated. It's not just striking, wrestling, and jujitsu, man. It all blends together. And I think this camp, my coaches communicate with each other, communicated with me. We started blending techniques together. And so, yeah, we watched film on Islam, but more so, we've been focusing on how to be the best Drew Dober come March 6th.
Absolutely. So a win over Islam Makhachev at this next fight, maybe another fight or two this year, early next year. Where do you see you falling in line to the rankings at the end of the year? And where do you see yourself in the title hunt by the end of 2021?
If I'm going to be completely honest, man, I don't really, like I said, I don't focus on the number
Hmm.
or the title run, but I do know full well that there's going to be more eyes, more hype, and more fights this year. I feel so confident in my abilities right now to entertain the fans.
Hmm.
So I don't focus on outcomes. Like if I win all three, then yeah, I'll be in the title run. But even so, like man, the 15 minutes I spend in the cage, if I have three fights, that's 45 minutes in the cage. I'm definitely just gonna be a fan favorite for sure by the end of the year.
Awesome, awesome. How do you feel about all the adaptations that the UFC's made with the COVID protocols, lack of fans, lack of noise, and all that good stuff? Are you a fan of it, or does it kind of take you out of your game?
I'm very blessed that the UFC has found a way to keep us busy, man. It's
Mhm.
great. And the funny thing is, though, man, it just reminds me of fighting Muay Thai in the Midwest. Nobody comes to those shows. And plus, you're doing tournaments like wrestling tournaments at like 9 a.m., right? It's just you and
Yeah,
your mom, right? Like
yeah.
there. And so like it was a fun reminder of like how we started, right? Like
Mhm.
MMA, in the United States, like it wasn't about the money, fans, glory, and all that stuff. It was we just do it because we love it. And so,
Absolutely.
man, going to the Apex Center, fighting with a minimal crowd is like it's remembering where I first started and the love of the game.
Little nostalgia there, eh?
Right?
That's cool. I know I wrestled a little bit in high school and you wrestled a little in high school. And like you said, not a whole lot of people come to those events. So the UFC taking that route lately. I know a lot of fighters been in favor of it, a lot of fighters haven't. But it's an exciting time. We're excited to see you and Islam. I appreciate you jumping on the show today. I know you got a lot going on, so I'll let you get out of here. But hopefully we can have you back on again soon. I'll find you on Instagram. I'll upload the video on YouTube, send you the link, and we'll be in touch. Good luck with your fight, and
I
thanks for
appreciate
coming
you.
on. Yeah, man,
Yeah,
we
I'm
appreciate you.
extremely available March 7th and beyond. So I
Mark,
love talking to the fans and talking shop. So
awesome. Well, if you're
anytime, man.
down to hop back on, I got Chael tomorrow, Luke Rockhold tomorrow, and then the next day I got Kevin Lee, and then we got some other things we're booking. So we're trying to keep it consistent and keep the
Yeah.
content flowing. So we'll
Dude,
definitely keep you in
you
mind.
gotta have Kevin Lee show off that tattoo that he got. I haven't
On
been able to see him perform with it. So I was like,
Yeah.
man, talk him into showing that off.
Yeah, the one on his head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
just saw
think
a picture of it and I was like, I could possibly take you out for a while, but yeah.
yeah, his hair seems to be growing out on top of it a little bit now, so it's kinda hard to see, but that looked like a pain to get, man.
Dude, I have zero tattoos on my body. It's something that I will appreciate from afar, but I was like, man, I could not do that myself. So, man,
Same.
props to Kevin Lee, man.
Yeah, props to Kevin Lee. I have no tattoos as well. That's just I'm a very indecisive person. I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably regret it 3 hours later, but
Exactly. That's the same thing I tell people all the time. I was like, man, I put it on my body and I would hate it like after an hour.
yeah, pieces out and stuff like that.
Cool,
So
man. Cool.
yeah, man. I appreciate you making the time and we'll be in touch. We'll get something going again soon.
Hell
Good
yeah,
luck
man.
with your
I
fight,
appreciate it.
man.
You have a great Sunday.